All right, everyone, it's time to talk about the New York Times continuing scandal, so-called, on Donald Trump Jr. It turns out he did indeed have offers from a Russian sort of lawyer there offering dirt on Hillary Clinton, and that nothing came of it thereafter, and there was actually no dirt to have. Some people are speculating that this was some sort of proposed sting operation by the Democrats to try to frame Trump. I'm not sure of that because at the time I think they were still believing internal polling that showed that Clinton was going to win, so I don't think they would have fucking cared at the time. Although it's possible. Maybe it was some offshoot group that wasn't directly coordinated with Hillary, or that was but covers its tracks really well. That'd be in the Clinton MO. My question is this. If somebody offers you incriminating material on another person and you meet with them and nothing is actually exchanged because there's nothing there, is this illegal? No. No information, no private information was exchanged. Even the New York Times fake news that is saying, oh, this has nothing to do with the Russian state hacking of the DNC emails, as though that was a given and that wasn't just speculation as well. So what's the scandal here? It doesn't even involve Donald Trump, it involves his son, who's not an elected official, going there with people who worked with the campaign, Manafort and Kushner. It doesn't involve, though, Donald Trump. I mean, it can't be impeachable unless he was directly aware of it, solicited it, and something came of it. It wouldn't be an impeachable offense. So where's the scandal? I think people are getting a little bored. I think the media shot its load too early. They went with the Russian line in the wake of the DNC email leaks, and they've kept up with Russia since. Anybody who cares about Russian connections at this point either decided that the claims were true and doesn't back Trump, thinks he's impeachable and treasonous, or they don't fucking care because they don't believe the claims. I fall into the latter camp because I don't believe the claims. No. If this is the evidence that they have of Russian collusion, one of Trump's relatives, not directly even working with him, got no information from somebody after visiting them with them in Trump Tower after being intrigued by an email chain. That's not collusion. I'm sorry, but that's not what it is. Offering somebody incriminating material itself wouldn't be illegal, even in the campaigning sense. How would it be? It's not like Don Trump Jr. Didn't have any information to pass on to Donald Trump because no information apparently was given. So it wouldn't break any election laws. It's not like, oh, hey, I'm going to coordinate with my son, who I'm not really supposed to be contacting about these matters in this direct manner. I'm going to have him go meet with this Russian person, get this info, and crush Hillary Clinton. That apparently never happened. Now, Donald Trump Jr. is so confident in the fact that he did nothing wrong, and I happen to concur, that he's releasing like the email stuff himself. You know, the New York Times may be just bluffing and maybe doesn't even have these same images, and he's just like, ah, fuck it, I'm going to release it myself. Who cares? I'll just scoop the New York Times. So then he gets the attention, gets to control the flow of information more, which is a smart move. What law was broken here? That's my question to the New York Times. Stop speculating about Russian connections and just tell me what specific law you think was broken in this. What would be impeachable about this? Why should I care about the issue that Trump's son solicited damaging information? So apparently his original explanation of adoption services was bullshit, which probably it makes sense that he would put forth a bullshit claim. So on that, yeah, the New York Times is technically right, which is a change. It's a breath of fresh air. But unless some law was broken or some campaign rule of some sort, it doesn't matter. It's not going to lead to the impeachment of Donald Trump. It's not even going to lead to a significant investigation. It doesn't involve the president. It involves his son. It's like I pointed out already. Donald Trump, somebody said, oh, well, parents are responsible for the upbringing of their children. They're responsible for their actions. Donald Trump Jr. is not a minor. Donald Trump Jr. is a man now. He's a full-grown man. He's responsible for his own fucking actions, whether they be moral or immoral, whether they be legal or illegal. It's not Donald Trump's responsibility what his son does at this point. He ultimately, his son is a businessman. He's not in an elected office. He's not an official campaign staffer or aide. He's helping to run the Trump business empire. If he talks to a bunch of Russians, it doesn't matter. He can still solicit their investments. As made clear under our laws, it's perfectly acceptable for that to happen. The idea of Trump completely divesting himself to be president of the United States obviously is legal, since 6 months later after this proposal was originally made, nobody sued him. Nobody seems to have an ethics complaint about it. They have ethics complaints about basically everything Trump does. At this point, if he coughs the wrong way, somebody files a lawsuit. The Ninth Circuit gets involved. The fact that they haven't gotten involved on the way in which Trump transferred his business assets to his children and to his upper-level managers shows me that there's no legal framework by which they could possibly do anything about it. If there was, trust me, they already would have filed a complaint, because he's got plenty of fucking critics and enemies. This will be the same way. It will be the same as every other Russia claim that has happened over and over and over again. Can you please start talking about policy proposals that Trump has made, or about things that he believes in and why you don't like those, as opposed to speculating on all of these non-existent Russian scandals? Because that's what they are. They are non-existent. If they were extant, if something actually touching Donald Trump himself, with all of the scrutiny that he's under, had actually occurred, he would already have been impeached. The Republicans would have loved to impeach him too, so they could get Mike Pence in there to control like a puppet. They'd say, oh, we made you president, don't forget it. And that's all they would have to do. The Never-Trumpers would run roughshod over everything. You wouldn't get tax reform. You wouldn't get a wall. You'd have happy relations with Angela Merkel and piss off the Polish. And it would be exactly what John McCain wants. He might even get another war under his belt, because that's what he values most in the world. So I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced any wrongdoing was done here. It's maybe mysterious, like, well, he was soliciting the information, but it's not illegal. It's perfectly legal. He can email whoever the fuck he wants. He's not working for Trump's campaign. He just happens to be his child. That's like saying, well, your kid smoked weed. Even though they're like 30 or 40 years old, we caught him smoking weed. We're going to throw you in jail because you didn't raise your child right, or because we think you must have been involved somehow with this weed dealing. It's not the way things work in the legal sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And who cares that this meeting took place at Trump Tower? Like it fucking matters where it took place? Why would it matter if it was there or if it was at the next door neighbor's house? Or at the next hotel over? Would that somehow change the dynamic of the meeting that took place, or the emails prior to it? No, it wouldn't have anything to do with it. And it wouldn't mean that Trump himself, President Trump that is, was involved. At this point, you can't just say Trump. Like, everyone knows if you just say Trump, you mean the president. But there are so many other Trumps that are embroiled in so many different dealings, like business empire and politics, and Ivanka Trump certainly with having some degree, it seems, of foreign influence. You can't just say Trump anymore. You have to say President Trump or Donald Trump, as opposed to like Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, Barron Trump, something, Melania. Melania is the only one you just have to use one word for, because you can just say Melania and everyone in the country knows who you're talking about. So the New York Times is just, it's just boring at this point. Okay, we get it. You don't like Trump. You think he colluded with Russians. Where's the actual evidence? No. We don't mean his son. We don't mean Michael Flynn. We don't mean Paul Manafort called somebody in Moscow. We mean, did Donald Trump himself, the President of the United States, did he collude and do something illegal? Soliciting information about an opponent on behalf of another ostensibly is not illegal. It's not illegal. You can consider it immoral. You can consider it dubious. You might think it goes deeper until you get evidence you can't do anything about it, but it is not illegal. No law was broken. So it doesn't matter. It had nothing to do with the president. I want to see I want to see good evidence. No anonymous sources. I want real sources. Not just an opinion write-up like this. I want to see actual evidence that Donald Trump himself colluded directly with the Russian state. Until I see that, the Russia bullshit is just that. It's a pile of crap. It has no meaning. That's about all. Peace out.